Welcome to my first ever classical game recap. So this weekend I played at the Chess Open Graz and I played at the weekend section, and yes, I played 4 games total. In one of my games I didn't get matched, so I got a free point. And let's just go through the games. So the first game here was played against a 15-year-old 1878 rated player, which was nice to talk to. He was pretty friendly to me, so kudos to him. And so I got the white pieces and I opened with e4. He responded e5, knight c3, and we get knight f6, which, like, I could go for the Vienna Gambit, but also in classical, I don't know if that's the best choice, so I opted for bishop c4. This is probably a bit dubious in classical, so taking not the best option, and he took a little think, but I think he realized there is no point in going for that. We transposed into like I'd almost call it mainline Vienna game. It's pretty standard stuff. And then here he threatened with knight g4, but I knew my prep, so I went with knight g5. The idea is if he ever goes, let's see, if he ever goes for this fork, which is defended by the bishop, we can come in here, and then there's not really a way to stop this threat. If we turn on the engine real quick, it's plus 3.5 here. So he obviously didn't let that happen. He played rook f8, which is not the best move here, I think. Nope. So if we look here after h6, we go f5, takes, and then this is pretty good for us. This pawn structure is a bit bad. We can castle long, and it looks pretty good for us. He went with rook f8. I closed off. So this knight is now hit by the queen. And we get this, which is also still theory for me. So takes. And then this move, knight takes h7. I forgot my theory, or I didn't calculate right. What my issue was here is I calculated this, and this. And then what I saw was this knight move. And for some reason, I thought that, like, after him taking here, after I take here, that this could be an issue in the long run. Like, this doesn't look good. See what the engine thinks. It's completely fine, because we can trade off queens or threaten to trade off, and then we could take the rook after. So this, either the rook is hanging or our rook is hanging, both is fine. In the end, I think, we're up a piece, so that would have been great. But I mean, he didn't need to go for that, of course. The best move here would have been to just trade off like this, and then this isn't an issue. I just drop back, and I like, what I calculated was this, and then I mixed up the tempi. Like, I thought after this that we just have a problem, that our rook is hanging and that the knight is hanging. So I got a bit scared and I chose to play knight f3, which is a very passive move. I marked it as a mistake. Everything that's marked here is marked by me. So if it's actually not that bad according to the engine, then don't be confused. That's just how I interpret, like, these games. He decided to try and open everything. I threatened the bishop. He moves back. I push g4, trying to get some initiative. He goes for my bishop, and then here the best move, funny enough, g5, which looks like a blunder of a pawn, but after takes, queen takes, we have this fork. So I missed that as well. And of course, if he goes back, we just push this bishop into, like, misery. Also didn't happen. Instead, I played h4, which is a bit too slow. He kicks our knight, he takes the bishop. We get this nice clamp on the d5 square, so that's okay. Like, I saw that and I was fine with that. And then here was like the breaking point of the position. I think here it's almost equal. It's +1 still for us. If we take like this, it's +1. If we play like this, we have a -2 because we allow him to open, which is just not. If we keep everything close, we're doing great. Yeah, I pushed him back. I went like this. I saw this pin. I felt very sneaky. So I tried to create some counterplay, which wouldn't have worked anyway. So I decided to give up the knight. try to use this pin somehow. And then here's just a final nail in the coffin. I had like 40 minutes left on the clock. I played way too quick this game. I saw that this queen is loose if this bishop is gone. So my thinking was I can just lift my rook, grab this pawn, this bishop can move. So I play rook h3. My opponent plays this, and I was like, what? And then I looked at my king and the bishop, and I was like, oh, oops. That's with check. So here I decided to resign. That was my first game. Yeah, I think it was okay. It wasn't the best. Not remembering my theory here, horrible, and calculating wrong, even worse. Like this would have been great. And also here, not like ripping everything open, probably not the best decision. But I'm okay. It was a strong player. He played some stronger opponents. He drew an FM and everything. So he's doing, I think he did good in the tournament. Okay, game number 2. So this is, funny enough, someone I met the day before already at the tournament, and then we got matched. And yeah, he came a bit late, but I decided, like, I didn't know if I should start my clock or not, and then he showed up, so everything was fine. We started with full time. Time was 90 plus 30, by the way, so 1 hour 30 plus 30 seconds each move. Okay, so he plays e4. So I'm gonna try to play my accelerated dragon, c5, and we get the Smith Mora. So I take, and then I play what I've learned to play against it, which is just not take the pawn, like deny them of their own gambit. He took, we get this like standard Smith Mora stuff. And then here he like allowed me to trade everything down, and I felt a bit like I felt comfortable here. I get this pin, and I was like, I can just trade even more if I want to, because this position looks quite okay. So here I threatened to take and then win the pawn. He needs to block, of course, like defend. And then here there was already some tactics that I didn't see, and I just didn't take the time to calculate. After bishop takes, there is like knight d4, threatening 2 forks at once. If the bishop moves back, we have this, and then there is a bunch of engine stuff. So it's not decisive, but it's like almost -1. So slowly grabbing an advantage. So I should have spent some time at least looking at it. Instead, I decided to fall back. And here I just fixated this pawn. I didn't want to get this open anytime. After a3, I played bishop e7, castled, and then now he seemed like to recover. It's still -1. Here I just played some waiting moves, hoping that he would trade the rooks. At some point I got impatient, so I just traded the rooks myself. Here I pushed the bishop up with the idea of trying to get rid of this knight first, then getting my bishop here, trading that bishop, and then winning this pawn with 2 knights here. That was the whole plan. So that's what I calculated for like half the game. We get this. I bring the knights in to threaten this pawn. And then here it gets a bit tactical. So I see this. Okay, this was my plan all along. And then I saw after this, there's some issues because this pawn is hanging and also this knight is coming in to threaten the pawn. So I took, and here there was 2 ways. Take with this knight or take with this knight. And well, one is very good because one just wins a pawn like this. We win a clean pawn. But here I got a bit scared of like this stuff, this guy marching down, but I have 3 pieces, so it should have been fine, of course. I think engine cost is a draw, actually. Interesting. I decided to go the other way, which is actually worse for me. This is +1 for the engine, because we just dropped the pawn and I didn't get this pawn at all. But there was this, and like, yeah, I felt like I can stop it easier if there's only 2 pieces. And now here the misery starts. So he walked into a pin, which is quite nice. He decided obviously to get his bishop defended. I walked in here, calculating that if he tries this check, you can go here, and this knight is getting completely trapped. It can go nowhere. So if he took, this is like game over. He obviously sees it. I still trade. And this is actually not a bad position for black. I get some like even more initiative. I grab this pawn for free basically. And now I decided to lock this knight in. It can't go anywhere. And now here the misery starts, okay? Time was about, I think, 10 minutes left or something, and we didn't reach bonus time yet. At like move 40, you get bonus time. This is move 37. This pawn is loose. And so if we threaten the pawn, what can he do? Well, he can push. What can we do? We can just give a fork and we get this pawn anyway. And I missed that completely. And what I completely missed, and that's what I need to improve on in the next tournaments, is that I didn't consider my opponent's move at all. And here I played this, which from -4 goes down to -0.4. There's f4. And now here's the big issue. If I still go for this pawn, which I tried to do, there's this. And I missed that idea completely. So after calculating here, I was like, well, I don't have time to take the pawn. I need to go back and defend. And slowly but surely, I made some mistakes here. I sadly lost the annotation. But if I so this was the position we ended up in. I remember that. And here I made my last mistake. This was still kind of drawable for black, but this is hanging, of course. So the engine evaluates it as completely losing anyway. But I feel like if I kept these 2 pawns, at least it would have been a bit better. So what I thought is if I push, this is defended, and he's not in time to win it back if I just push. So I played this move, and the moment he played this, I saw the problem. And well, the problem is that first of all, our knight is hanging. So yeah, okay, we give up the knight, right? We can just push. Yeah, wrong. There's this fork. And so I still went for that, and I lost the pawn, and then I had to run with my knight. And then he promoted eventually. He moved this one, I grabbed it with the knight, and I ended up here with my king, basically. I resigned at the promotion. Yeah, so the lesson from this game is to take my time. If I still have time on the clock and there's like counterplay for white, I need to consider that. Also, not taking the pawn was a huge mistake. So the lesson from the game is to like think about counterplay from the opponent if I still have the time on the clock, which I just didn't do. I just like blindly tried to grab this pawn. And the second lesson is that I can't let my opponent double these pawns up at all. Should have just taken. Yes, it looks a bit dangerous because there's this fork coming. But if I just move back, I think the engine actually gives me the blessing. Yeah, it's -0.2. So it's still a draw at least, minimum. So yeah, that was a big mistake. And that was the second game. If you're interested in the other 2 games that I played, then let me know in the comments. I might make a video on them too. And that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.